How we doing? How's that for sound? Better? Good? Okay. Excellent. 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 I don't know why for some reason my computer reset the sound settings. It should tell me before it does things like that. I was saying hi to Zero Omega. I think Grim and maybe somebody else might come on for a few minutes, and then if you want to pop on for a few minutes, Zero Omega, hang out. We'll see. But we're going to add Grim, our friend Grim. I was talking about we're going to add him in one moment. I have some sad Microsoft news to talk about. I have some sad news about my phone that I think needs the screen replaced, which is really upsetting. It's a great phone, but the screen's having issues after it got a crack. It's like $100, man. That's expensive. But it's better than the cost of a whole new phone. And I want to start out talking about the Tree of Woke. I did a long stream this morning called the Tree of Woke. It might not be textbook correct, but what I was saying was sometimes in modern day when you're speaking to someone about everything that's going on with culture, you have to use certain analogies and metaphors to get them on the same page as you. Otherwise, they are just going to tune you out and move along, or mosey on, as we say here in Texas. So sometimes you have to cut corners a little bit, or you lose your audience. It's called compromise. It's called compromise. And one of those analogies that I've found works really well to get people understanding the essence of the culture war is the Tree of Woke analogy. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that with our good friend Grim here. Hello, Grim.
There's no one here by that name.
I do see a doctor.
The Tree of Woke. I see.
The Tree of Woke, because, and we've talked about this, I feel like we do a great disservice to things that are going on when we try to identify them as too many separate things, when in reality they're really all basically the same thing with the same origin in Marxism, and they all have the same ultimate goal. But so we don't really need to look at them like they're a bunch of different things, because they're really not. But
who's looking at them like they're a bunch of different things?
Lots of people. You'll hear lots of people start talking about, woke ideology.
I'm talking about people who are analyzing it. I'm not talking about people that consume it. I can understand that people that consume the material you're talking about, if you're talking about cultural Marxism, right?
Yes.
Assume you're talking about cultural Marxism.
Yes, I am.
So you're talking about consumption of that particular culture. So, yeah, I mean, I can surely see that there are people that, they look at things in a lot of different parts, right? When really it's a centralized problem.
Right, and the tree is the center, and the Tree of Woke. And you might hear somebody say that, talk about, what's woke and what isn't woke, and then they might want to talk about, Antifa, and then they might want to discuss, radical feminism, and that's not three different things. That's all the same thing. And one of the analogies I use sometimes that seems to be successful in getting that message across to people is, you have one tree, and the tree is the center. It's the center of everything, and the tree is Marxism. But Antifa might be one branch on the tree. radical leftism might be another branch on the tree. The trans community might be another branch on the tree, but it's the same tree. There's one trunk. It's just, different branches, but it's the
Sure,
same thing.
and well, I mean, you have an organization like, I'm not like, should I even call it an organization? You have a philosophy like Antifa, and I mean, what is it born from? Well, it's originally from West Germany, right? So Antifa was not even originally a philosophy that it's not a philosophy that was born in the United States. It's not domestic in
So
that.
you're gonna have to forgive me the fact that my geography knowledge and my history on geography is not what it should be. So I'm going to ask you, what came first, Prussia or Germany?
They existed at the same time, but
Okay.
Prussia just got absorbed by Germany.
Okay. And you're saying that like something like Antifa it has German origins.
What? Well, I'm talking about West Germany, so we're talking Cold War.
Okay. 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 So we're talking the 40s and 50s.
Well, West Germany existed till the wall came down in '89.
Okay. Okay.
Germany
Cold
was
War.
separated.
Cold War with Reagan. Yeah, I was thinking JFK. I was thinking Cuba. No, yeah, Cold War when the wall came down in '89. So Antifa, and this is what I don't like about people when they defend Antifa. They're anti-fascist. Are these people either that stupid or are they just choosing to not understand? How retarded that sounds. Just because you call yourself anti something does not mean that you have good intentions.
Right. Well, and you cannot agree with something. It's your right, but it's how you act on that is is a whole nother problem.
Sure,
So they're militant. That's the problem.
sure, and they are.
They can, if they were just an activist organization that protested for, I don't know, pronouns, I'd still think they were really stupid, but I wouldn't think that they were a terrorist organization, a militant organization. But they have turned themselves into a militant organization. But I think that's kind of like always what they were.
Yeah.
So that's part of the problem. You have to really look at the origins of the philosophy of Antifa, which, like I said, comes out of West Germany during the Cold War.
So,
and West Germany was they were the capitalists, right? And Antifa was their response to East Germany, right? And East Germany was the communists ruled by the GDR, the German Democratic Republic, which was basically just a puppet state of the Soviet Union.
Well, the other problem with Antifa is when you use the word militant, they are self-appointed militant. They have no authority from any military or government or law enforcement organization to be militant.
What? You don't need to have that to be militant. I mean, terrorist organizations are militant, feminist organizations are militant,
and they are criminal. They're criminal.
Yeah.
So when you say you don't need authority,
you don't need to act in a militant fashion. Does the definition of it does not require you to have actual authority. It's just about it's just a word that defines how you act. you act like you have authority. So to be militant is to act like you have authority, even though you
Right,
don't.
right. Yeah.
So I think they fit the word fits the word fits the action.
Yeah, it does. I just feel like legality should play a part in there somewhere.
Legality, yeah, that a militant organization is one that has self-appointed themselves uh, a force, a that needs to uh, use violence to protect rights, but they have no they're not actually appointed by anyone.
That was my point. They haven't been appointed
Well,
by
that's the whole point of being militant.
right,
They,
but you can't be legally militant in the manner that Antifa goes about it.
what do you mean legal? They're not legal. Being militant is not legal.
Well, I would you not say that our armed forces are militant? I mean, that's
Nope.
short for military. I mean, it's the very
It's
definition
not.
of the word.
It's not the definition of this word. Militant stands for a group of people that are not appointed by any governing body.
So if you're militant but not military, then you have
A military and a militant organization are two different things entirely.
Fair enough. Gotcha.
So you talk a lot about this stuff, but I think
Proud Boy.
I think you need a grasp on what the definitions of everything are. And the term militant is very historically based, right? So it's not. I mean, if you study anything about history, you know.
So would you say that Antifa, Proud Boys, KKK, all of those groups are militant?
They're militant, yes.
Yeah. None of them have any.
I don't know about the Proud Boys though. But
yeah.
I don't. What have they done that's militant?
Nothing to my knowledge.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
Yeah.
I mean, they are very chauvinistic, like to the point that it makes me uncomfortable. But I don't know that I can't think of anyone that they've really attacked. Like, I can't think of any militant actions that they've done.
Okay, so let me ask you this: can you think of any actively militant organizations in this country right now other than Antifa?
No, that's why there's never been a domestic terrorist group named before.
Yeah.
That's why there are no. Look at the list of domestic terrorist groups in the United States. There's only one.
Yeah.
And it's Antifa. And technically, you could make an argument that Antifa, the current day Antifa is domestic, right? They're domestically based. It's a philosophy,
right.
But it's based upon a philosophy from Cold War era Germany.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, we all know that sometimes terms are manipulated in order to just cover for doing whatever the hell we want to do, and that our intentions might not be as pure as we advertise them to be.
Sure.
And I don't think that the people that defend Antifa are quite as knowledgeable as they're either not as knowledgeable.
Some of them are. So I mean, you got two groups of people that do that, right? One of them is people that are just part of Antifa. The other one is just people that are dumb.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of dumb people.
There are.
They don't understand, or I don't know. They believe that the things that people say about Antifa are some conspiracy theory, which is ridiculous.
That's odd. Yeah. So,
Oh, and no, Antifa doesn't do that. They just they don't they don't throw concrete milkshakes at people.
yeah,
They don't
yeah.
start fires. They don't
Well,
they
you know,
don't they don't agitate protests because protests are part of our identity as a country, right?
and that's where I think
Protest,
terminology gets manipulated. The right to protest is part of our country's history, and it's part of our rights. But a protest and mob mentality, violently, assaulting people are not the same thing. And what is defended as the right to protest sometimes is not a protest. It's
it's a
it's an
riot.
all out. It's a riot.
It's a riot.
It's rioting. And that's been one of my big things. Since I started talking again on this channel. One of my big themes is terminology and the way it's manipulated and corrupted by the radical left to fit their purposes and to gaslight. Whether you're talking about words like censorship, words like accountability, words like protest, these are all words that mean one thing, but are often manipulated in deceptive manners by the left, and they're doing it at a pace.
There's also wording that's manipulated by the right.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that the right does not also act in a deceptive manner. But
I agree. I completely.
But they are. But the thing is, the right isn't. They're not rioting in the streets.
That's the thing, is we don't.
They're not setting up. They're not. Their philosophy hasn't driven snipers to rooftops.
Yeah.
Although there are violent white nationalists. They do exist. Not to the extent that the left wants you to exist. But what I mean is, what I mean by that is, they exist, but the left wants you to believe that they are a much larger problem than they are. That there are far more members of that radical ideology that actually exist, right? Because they just take other people and just classify them under that very radical ideology when they're not really part of that ideology. So the amount of people that actually fall under that ideology is actually a small group of people, but they do exist. But not to the extent that the left has tried to lead people to believe. But they do that with everything, right? They try to find racism in everything, right?
Sure.
So there's the old saying: if you look for it, you'll find it, right?
Yep.
Because you're redefining things that weren't previously defined or looked at as racist as now racist, because you have expanded your definition, you have expanded your scope of what being racist is, right? I mean, people like to use the term, moving the goalpost.
And we've been encouraged to expand our view of what is racist. Obama was a master at that.
I was kind of took you as a fan of Obama.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, and his very close friend Michael, his very close friend Michael,
his good friend Michael. So I'm going to read
Michael. I'm talking about Michael Obama.
I know who Big Mike. I know who you're referring to. I'm going to read a list.
So who's in the chat?
We've got Zero Omega. We've got you.
Am I in the chat? I don't
think Juby had said he might pop in. I I invited his fairy, said he might come on, but he wasn't feeling that great. So I told him if not, just to rest. So who knows?
Rob is generally asleep at this time.
True. And I did put the link in 3 channels on the Discord.
And by the way, I am sacrificing video game time.
Oh, I appreciate that.
For your podcast?
What was going to be the game of choice?
The game of choice. What game am I playing? I don't know. Take a guess.
Pac-Man.
No.
Oh.
It's actually a remake of a PS2 game that came out in 2004.
Ratchet and Clank.
Nope, it's a JRPG. It was on the PlayStation 2. Came out in 2004. It was the first game in a series that has now got up to 11 games. The Trail series. So they remade Trails in the Sky and released it for PlayStation 5, Switch 2. I got the PlayStation 5 version, and I've been playing that.
Excellent. I'm going to test my new background out in a moment, but before I do that, I'm going to read you a list, Grim, and I would like...
Is it a list of compromises?
It is not. I'd like you to tell me anything you can think of that I might want to add to my list. I'm discussing the pillars that hold up society, the foundation of culture, the plural there with foundation, the many foundations, the many pillars of a good society. And so far, I
will begin with one.
Tell me.
And then you can go from there.
I have 6.
Okay.
My 6 are government, education.
Hold on.
Oh, okay, go first.
Science.
That's a good one, but that falls under education.
No, what? Science research does not fall under education, but that's... Okay.
You don't consider science? Every educational place I ever was a student at had science as a
yeah, but if you're doing scientific research, you are not learning about science, you are making science.
Well, that's true. That's true. So, scientific research. That's a good one.
I just like to say science.
Yeah. We've got government, education, entertainment, media, religion, and healthcare. That's, I believe
you can replace entertainment with the word mythology.
Okay. The reason I had entertainment is because we've seen so many different areas of entertainment play a crucial role in the culture war, whether you're talking about movies, video games, comic books, TV shows, what have you. So I just lumped all of those things under entertainment.
Okay. But it's your list, so it can be whatever you want it to be.
Well, it's my list, but I'd like it to be accurate and relatable, because the other reason I'm making this list is because...
Well, accurate, the term accurate with something like this is going to be, I don't know, relative to the person. I think that's making the list. Now, relatable, that's a concept that, is good to have, because even if my list might be different than yours, but if all the concepts on your list are relatable, then I can, as you're saying, resonate with your list and understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. And the thing that's,
because we shouldn't sit here and, decide for other people what are their what are the 6 pillars of society for every person. People have different priorities. People have different, you know.
Sure. But I mean,
You
you're
might,
talking.
you might, you might rank entertainment higher than science. I might rank science higher than entertainment. I mean, those are all personal choices, right?
Very much so. But some things are subjective and some things are objective. And regardless of where you might rank them on the list, it's an objective fact that these 6 things are cores of culture. And the thing that interests me about them is you can tangibly study how each of these things has been specifically attacked by the radical left during the culture war. I mean, whether you're talking about the government, the indoctrination on in education, whether you're talking about entertainment, the media, religion, healthcare. I mean, they've all been targets. Why are they all targets? They're targets.
You know what's weird about StreamYards? If I look at YouTube, I see that DJ Long here has been chatting, and I see some other chats from Zero. But the StreamYards in chat doesn't show anything.
So I'm concerned because now that you say that, because the last chat that I see is
Yeah, I see the question mark that Zero just put, but
okay. Now that just popped up for me. That the
right,
last thing.
but go and look, but go and actual go look look on your dashboard. Look on your YouTube dashboard chat. You're going to see there's a whole chat there that is not in StreamYards. Look, so
Got
I'm looking at the channel because I can't see your dashboard, but you can look at your dashboard, and if you go to your dashboard, you're going to see there's a whole chat in there that wasn't coming up in StreamYards. There was a whole conversation that I didn't see.
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's concerning me. That's actually never happened before when I've streamed. So yeah, I see.
See,
I don't.
DJ.
I don't
He's
see.
talking in chat, and it's not coming up in your StreamYard. I'm just saying I don't know if you have something set wrong. I'd have to look at the configuration that you have for StreamYards. I don't know. I was just letting you know.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
weird.
something you can look into. I know. Well, you're not paying for StreamYards, so I don't know what a non StreamYards,
Yeah,
uh,
that's never.
a non-paid StreamYards account. I haven't looked at one in a long time.
Yeah, but that's
So,
never happened before. And even this morning, there were people in the chat, and I was seeing it fine. But like right now, I'm looking at it on my phone and on my computer screen, and I'm not seeing Mr. DJ Longhair anywhere.
what do you mean?
You said that you see him in chat. I don't.
Uh, oh, hmm. Maybe let me look at what chat I'm looking at.
Are you looking at the stream from this morning?
Yeah, it could be giving me the stream from this morning.
Okay, yeah, I did a stream this morning, and Mr. DJ Longhair was in the chat this morning.
I must be looking at that.
Yeah, there we go. Now, the last chat that I see in the current stream is Zero Omega with a question mark.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're up to date. I think everything is okay.
Okay, I just reset it.
Excellent, excellent.
And
Mr.
now it's giving me the correct stream.
Excellent.
Okay, so you were talking earlier something you had mentioned something about compromises.
Oh yeah, I did.
Why don't you bring Zero on? Bring him
Okay,
on.
let's do that. You want to come on,
Yeah.
Zero Omega,
Yeah,
for a few minutes?
just bring Zero on.
Talk some culture war.
Yeah.
Let me let's see. I need to send him the link in chat or in Discord.
You do? And Zero, he's going to be sending you a link that is not clickable. So
Well, here's what I need to happen. I know how to copy and paste. I'm not mentally impaired. For some reason, Discord. Come on, Discord. I need Discord to open for me at the same time as StreamYard. It actually looks like it's. It actually looks like. No, it's trying. There it goes.
also, you should post your streams on your rapidly growing X account.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to mention. That's very interesting. Since last night, I am up almost 600.
Did you send the link to Zero?
I'm in the process of.
Okay.
I am up almost.
I mean, literally, I'll do it.
Well, I kind of like.
It's not going to be a clickable link, Zero.
Well, but I'm trying to make it a clickable link, so if everybody can be a little patient, that's what I'm working on.
Well, I sent them the link you sent me.
That's fine. I was just trying to coordinate something on my laptop between Discord and StreamYard, but I'll do that another time. I'll do that another time. Okay, now let's see. Okay. I'll send this to you since you already sent it to.
Well, I sent him it.
No.
I sent him a DM on Discord.
I'm sending you a test link. At least I would like to.
And did you post about the stream on your X? Because I know you forget to do that a lot.
I believe so. But yeah, that's something I wanted to mention is
where did the 500 new
I was at almost 500 new followers earlier in the day. As of a few minutes ago, I'm at almost 600 new followers since last night. So I have no,
have you posted anything?
I post every day. But
how many impressions have those posts got over the last couple days?
Okay, Grim, tell me if this link showed up as clickable for you. I don't know. I was briefly on a podcast last night, but I think that's just coincidence.
What podcast was it?
It was the podcast that Outlaw Gator does on Thursday nights on X Spaces. But I think
the one with Annie.
With Annie, who just hit 80,000 subs, which is really making me have some serious questions. But Annie was not there last night. But yeah, she just hit
80,000 subs on Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah. Okay. See, that's not what I was trying to do. It showed up in the. Chat here on Discord. I mean on StreamYard. And
you want to delete that out of the chat?
Yes, I do. Okay, for whatever reason. Actually, you should be a mod, Grim.
Yeah, I can delete it.
Thank you.
Oh no, I can't delete it because you're the channel owner. If it was from another person, I would be able to delete it.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, let me do that. Okay, is it gone?
No.
It's
gone for me.
It's still on my screen.
It's literally gone for me. That's kind of weird. How about now? Do you still see it? Because
it is retracted.
Okay, excellent. I hit it first, but I think you might have still seen it because you're a mod. But now it's deleted, so it's gone for good. But I'm going to assume that the reason. Oh, okay, Zero Mega's in the back room. I'm going to get you up in just a second, Zero. I'm going to assume that the reason that, or that the fact, I should say, that I was on that.
He's in the back room. I don't see him.
He's right next to you. I'm looking right at him. I promise he is.
That's weird.
I see myself, I see you, and I see Zero. So
okay. Well, pull him in. I don't know why. It's not showing. It's not showing him on my end. But
I'm about to. But I just wanted to say first that I'm going to assume that the fact that I was on NX Spaces last night is coincidental to my increase of 600 subs on. I've never
maybe, but that podcast doesn't get that many views.
That's why I said coincidental.
Yeah.
That's why I said coincidental. But I've never had that happen before. I can't explain it. I'm not going to complain about it. But yeah, 600 in about 24 hours was. I woke up this morning and it was about a 400 increase, and I haven't been. I post what I post. You know what I mean? I haven't like made a radical alteration in what I post. I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's a bit of a mystery, but I will welcome it. Let me check my green screen, and then I'm going to pull up Zero. How's that look? How you like my new?
Yeah, it looks like a green screen.
It does. Not an ugly green screen though.
No, but it fills your entire view box. So there's no. Yeah, it fills the whole box. It looks fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's a green screen. You know what I mean? And here, you didn't comment on my new avatar. Which
the character from Crisis?
No, it's one I'm so proud of myself. I designed it myself on something called Canva, but I want to make it move like,
Why if he's sitting in the back room, you should just pull him in.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, there he is. I don't know why it doesn't show him for me. I do see him in the main room. Zero.
Welcome to the talk.
I feel like a ghost.
Yeah,
you're in the darkness.
Yeah. I had some ectoplasm tonight, so that might be why.
What's in ectoplasm? Is it an alcoholic beverage?
No, it's a gummy beverage.
Oh, an edible. Gotcha. An edible.
Well, when I think ectoplasm, I just think Ghostbusters.
I think that's what they were going for.
I think they're probably going for an effect that makes you see.
Yes. See the things that we shouldn't be seeing.
The mysteries, the unknown mysteries of the universe.
I can honestly say that I've never tried one of the edibles, and I'll leave that to
I personally only use edibles. I don't like to smoke.
Yeah, I'm not a smoker either, or an edible
Yeah.
user. But
So for me, edibles are, I mean, they're infinitely slower
Mm.
to take effect, but like some gummies can take up to 2 hours, which is annoying. But I don't know. I just don't like smoking.
so Grim, I have a point here that might solve a small mystery. I may have been misrepresenting something when I was talking about seeing Zero. Okay, okay? You were saying that you see him in the main room.
Yes.
I
But
think I was saying,
I do not see him backstage. He has no backstage presence on my end.
where is on StreamYard what you're referring to, or what I was referring to as backstage?
Backstage is when someone is on the bar below the main window.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. That's where I was.
Yeah, he doesn't show for me.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. He wasn't showing for me. Now that you pulled him into the main room, he shouldn't show. Like there should be no one in the backstage. I should see no one but me down there.
Right.
But before you pulled him in there, I didn't see him down there at all, which is weird. So I don't know. That's maybe something screwed up with StreamYards.
Perhaps. But he's here. How's your week been going there, Zero Omega?
Not good.
Not good.
Just a lot of crap at work, and
I thought you took the day. I thought you took the day off.
yeah, I took the day off, and then by 10 o'clock, while I was trying to plant garlic, I had 4 calls from work about nonsense.
And of course you did, because I warned you. What did I tell you? I said something's going to go down at that establishment. And you
none
said
of it was even like, it was all just childish shit again, and I'm just so sick of it.
That they really should not have needed you for, right?
No, it was like two of the techs were bickering among each other, and the one guy that's been there for 3 years doesn't do anything, couldn't look up a single thing in the database.
They were fighting over. They were fighting over what is better, Windows NT or Novell NetWare.
Oh. But that's all gone now. We've had a lot of problems with power at work, and we were down for like 10 hours, and it's just been a show all week.
A hospital being offline for 10 hours is scary.
Yeah.
Well, aren't there backup generators?
That's
there is
saying that they weren't working.
Yeah, they were doing a generator test, and when they flipped over, the transfer switch fried, and they couldn't switch back.
So there was no circuit.
Yeah.
The circuit didn't exist anymore.
So we couldn't switch to generator or back to mainline power.
That makes me wonder how patients that are like on machines do during that time.
That's the same thing in every kind of.
Well, those machines all have
industry.
batteries.
Okay, battery. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You think these people plan for the worst possible things, and then they don't, or that the people in power should even consider planning, what people want in media, or how to run a car wash, or keep a hospital running when, there may be a power issue. I don't know why we don't have dual, like, power supplies even into the hospital.
Well,
I
think one of the things I had mentioned to you was, and I'm not an engineer, so I'm not an expert on what specifically different hospitals are using, but generally most hospitals will have a diesel generator and a natural gas generator.
Yep.
So they'll have two generators, right? But then again, you guys lost your transfer switch. So even if you had multiple generators, you couldn't have switched to them anyway.
No.
So it wouldn't even have mattered. So what they need is a redundancy for that redundancy, right? Where multiple generators are redundancy for each other, but if everything's just based on one transfer switch, that if that fries, then there's no connection to anything. That's a problem. So you need multiple ways of being able to switch the power over in the hospital from mains power to diesel generator to natural gas generator and so forth.
And I think we're actually working on that. We got to get another transformer first, and then we can actually
hook up
the other side of the hospital to an inlet. And I think that's what they're going to plan now. I mean, it's been in the works for a while. Just stuff never gets off the ground until.
Now, is this due to lack of funding in the hospital? Because we're talking about a private hospital here, right? Most hospitals are private.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of a little both. I mean, if they had someone in the position like when I started here, they would have had it properly budgetary allowed for. But the fact that upper management pretty much everywhere doesn't really pay attention to what they're doing. They just let it go. And then when they noticed it was a problem, there wasn't enough in the budget to kind of handle it. So they just push it off and rested on their laurels.
What are the state regulations on generators in New York?
Oh, I have no idea.
So state regulation in Massachusetts.
We're not meeting them though. I can tell you that.
It doesn't sound like it. I say that because I can tell you that state regulation in Massachusetts is all hospitals over I think it's just over 10 beds need to have two generators.
And we have two, and then the nursing home has one as well. But we don't have solar yet. But even then, I don't think the building was kind of put together in we'll call it a
solar
2025 AAA game. You got the game, and then you've got like these 50 DLC add-ons, and they were all built over time. So there wasn't a good plan of having all this stuff at the beginning. It started off tiny little building. And
could we use an analogy that you work at a hospital that had a day one patch?
Yes.
Had a day one patch. And of course, solar is so situational.
It is, but there's a lot of land. I mean, we are in the mountains, but there is a lot of farmland here too.
Okay.
That is no longer being used. There's actually a solar farm.
Legitimate then.
Maybe a third of a mile from us.
Yeah. Okay. So then there's a legitimate use for it. I gotcha. So,
actual content, all but she wants Clementine. You genuinely can fucking go for it, but stop lying about my character and my intentions. I get it enough from
Chris. She's pretty loud.
Okay, I'm gonna turn this down.
I played this on the right and trolls
for
and
Vera, and she got a
big
big kick out of it. It's basically a leftist,
please
radical leftist
stop
dehumanizing
me.
I think I saw earlier today.
And it's just been like a really hard 48 hours of being like, wait, what is this person saying about me? Like again, she can criticize my actual content all but she wants Clementine. You genuinely can fucking go for it, but stop lying about my character and my intentions. I get it enough from
They're lunatics.
From people on the right and trolls and men that hate me and want to threaten me and want me dead. Please stop dehumanizing me. Please, you can criticize my content, you can criticize my work, just I'm begging you to stop lying about my intentions and stop saying that I have a personality disorder. You don't know me. And this is so fucking triggering. I just want her to stop.
Well,
and it's just been like a real hard.
I can give you my very quick analysis. She's a little too soft to be on social media.
That was the first thing that I said, is that some people do not.
Yeah.
How do I get this? I need this to go away. Some people do not need to be on the internet. If you guys.
Well, she's saying she's a content creator, so she doubly is too soft to be what she's doing. Like, she can't. That's ridiculous. Well, and second, she's talking about how she gets death threats. Well, I'd like to actually see evidence of those, because not disagreeing with her generally is probably being interpreted as you want to see harm come to her.
Well, right. So here's the background on her. She's a social media content creator over there in the UK, and she is a radical leftist. Hates men, hates Christians, hates America. Has been caught on her videos threatening the president. All that, right? Loves Antifa, the whole 9 yards. And you would think that. Which is why, that's why I get enjoyment out of her having these breakdowns. And when Vera and I were watching this, when someone is that distraught and having that kind of meltdown, you would tend to think that has to be that person's absolute once in a lifetime worst day. This girl has a video like that.
I don't know. I don't think that when I see that, because we live in a society now where victimhood status, especially perpetuated by the left, is an entire way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably scrolled through a post on her subreddit and got upset.
I mean, this girl melts down like that every 2 weeks. And I watch a show that one of the very few shows I watch on YouTube that basically just makes fun of all of those people. And she's on there all the time, just melting down like that. And it's what Grim said a few minutes ago. That was the first thing I said to Vera when we watched it the other day. Some people don't need to be on the internet. The internet is not for everyone.
I can think of a large swath of people that don't belong on the internet.
A lot of people. And that young lady, she needs some. I think she needs some help, and I hope she gets it one day.
By the way, the link you did send me, Chris, in DM is clickable.
So I figured it out how to coordinate from a link showing up as a pasted link in Discord from StreamYard. The only problem with the link I sent you is now I have to figure out how to make it not take up the entire. It takes up the entire screen. Did you see that?
Well, that's what Discord does, though. Discord takes clickable links and it adds a thumbnail to it that is provided from the link itself. So that's just Discord. That's how Discord acts with all links. If I start linking you things from Wikipedia, you're going to get the Wikipedia link, and then you're going to get a box describing the upper part of the like the first paragraph of the Wikipedia entry.
Okay.
That's what Discord does.
Okay. Gotcha. Zero, what time zone are you in?
I'm in Eastern.
East.
It's really late.
Okay, so it's about one. It's almost 1:30 for you guys. It's
No,
almost
it's 2:30 for us.
I'm 2:30. I
We're
don't know how
we're
I'm up
Eastern.
right now.
We're
2:30.
Eastern, Matty.
Yeah, you're Eastern, and it's almost 1:30 here.
So, Chris, keep in mind, Zero is only about 80, 85 miles from me.
Okay.
What was it, like 85 miles?
Something like that.
That's
I'd say it's about 85 miles.
that's not too far.
Yeah.
So are you in Massachusetts, Zero?
No.
I'm in New York.
But he is near the border of Massachusetts.
Well, do you also have a batshit crazy governor, Zero Man?
Yes.
Yeah, it's New York, man. It's New
Oh,
York.
Hochul.
Of course.
Hochul.
Yes.
You got
Crypt
Hochul.
Keeper.
You got Kathy, right? Good old
Yeah.
Kathy. Yeah, you got Kathy. I tell you, you have to wonder. Okay, you talk about New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts. What breeds these radical left lunatics as governors?
The only thing I can tell you that I've actually heard, I used to work with a lady that is pretty big in the Republican Party here in the state, and it's all money. I mean, money and the power is the only thing powerful enough to change these people that, back in the 90s were pretty much for the same things we are now.
Yep.
And now today it's like a complete 180. Like they're different people. Even people I haven't been on Facebook in years, but once in a while I'll go on to check a message from a family member.
They've all
For
turned
the
into
reason I
lunatics,
keep it open.
right?
And I'll look at the front page and there's people that I've known for most of my life, and the
And they're
stuff they're
lunatics.
saying,
Yeah.
it's like what crawled inside your skin
Yep.
and is now living in your body. It's just
Yeah.
it's so crazy to see how much people have changed over the last 20 years from money, power, and control over the the evolution of the internet and everything else, social media.
The old saying, politics is downstream from culture.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
but part of it, I think, with a lot of those people is just wanting to belong.
Oh yeah, it's all about being in the club and all the perks you get from it.
Which is why my voter registration card says undeclared.
You're a libertarian.
Well, yes, but I'm registered as undeclared.
Well, I mean, I'm moving in that direction, but the only thing keeping me a registered Republican is because outside of Trump, I mean, I just don't care for most of them. But I mean, if you look at the fact that when it comes to elections, independents and libertarians don't win, which means if you're not voting Republican, you're going to get stuck with Democrats, and they're even worse. So it's a hard, it's the lesser of two evils.
I'm really hoping that after Trump's term, if JD Vance is in a better position, that the past 15 years of politics between Obama, Trump, Biden, that maybe people start to turn their eyes toward the third parties a little bit more, because it's more obvious than it's ever been now that it is a uniparty to some degree.
Yep.
Oh, the uniparty is a 100% factual being. It exists,
and that's why they can't stand Trump.
Yep.
But I really hope that after all this, somebody, people start to open their eyes and give these third parties a chance, and maybe we can see change.
There are even times when, I feel like Trump seems beaten down, but I just have to keep the faith that he's mentally strong enough to make it another 3 years, and
Well, I don't necessarily think that he's beaten down. He doesn't seem beaten down to me. It just seems to me that some of the stuff he does is nonsense.
Like such as
the tariff war.
Well,
there's more tariffs today.
Yeah.
Oh God, I saw them.
He obliterated the crypto market today.
What
the crypto
Bitcoin
lost
took a
$2 trillion today. The entire crypto market, the Coinbase, it took a $2 trillion hit because of one effing Truth Social post from Trump. He couldn't have tried to play it in a way that wouldn't have bled so much money out of these markets. And then you have the NASDAQ took like a 1.5% dive. The S&P took like a 1% dive. So it wasn't just crypto. So I should just say it was only crypto that took a dive. But, crypto took the hardest dive.
So, Graham, let me ask
$2 trillion.
Graham, let me ask you a serious question. I'm not being tongue-in-cheek when I ask this. Do you feel that you understand tariffs better than the president?
Yes.
Okay. Where do you feel that he is most misguided in his view of tariffs?
The effects that it has on small businesses.
Okay.
And the consumer buyers index, meaning what is the buying power of the American public, and how does it affect their lives?
You think he's overestimating the CBI?
He's underestimated CBI.
Underestimating it. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Or he does know about it, because I'm sure there are everyone likes to, the left tries to play it off that, everyone in the Trump administration is a fake economist or doesn't understand economics. No, I don't believe that's the case. That's ridiculous. But there could be economists that are working for him that are just ignoring it.
Well, I think in his first term that was a big part of the problem, and I'm worried that that's starting to take place. When he was reelected this term, I had this high hope that he was going to learn from his first term that he was surrounded by sharks, and that he was going to be much more, shall we say, like a helicopter parent, so to speak. But I'm starting to worry that he's getting undercut again, his authority.
Yeah, I feel that way with Bondi.
Well,
yeah. You feel like Bondi is trying to.
I feel like she's one of those swamp people that he should have got out his first term. Like, obviously, I think the whole administration's better than anything we would have gotten with Biden.
In his first term, I forget the origins of Pam Bondi, but in his first term, wasn't she the Attorney General of Florida?
I think so, because wasn't
something like that.
I think she was the Attorney General of Florida.
Because who was Trump's AG his first term? Was it Bolton?
Bolton was one of them. He had 3.
Yeah.
He had like 3.
God, he had 3?
It was 2 or 3.
So is it possible that Bondi, for a good while ignored his orders on some of these prosecutions because she felt like the case wasn't there to be made if they went through?
So I think that Trump is very much still a showman, and I think he is very boisterous, and I think he says a lot of stuff that even he doesn't expect to get acted on, but
Could
he
be.
wants to create a reaction from not only the left, but other countries, like China, for example, like Russia, like Vladimir, like Xi Jinping. Okay, so he and I'll throw the Democrats into that as well, because he wants a reaction from the left in this country, and I think he says a lot of stuff that is not probably actionable, and he knows it's not actionable, but he's just eliciting a response.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, the thing is, I love Trump. I love him, and I know that. I know he's not perfect, but would you rather have Trump or would you rather have Kamala Harris?
Well, I'd rather have Trump, but I don't know. Let's just use the third term one, and I know this isn't directly coming from Trump, but I've seen people try to make the claim that the 22nd Amendment can be reinterpreted to mean, oh, a president can't run. A president can't be elected for 2 consecutive terms.
Consecutive, yeah, I've seen that.
That's. Have you read the?
Yeah, it's not.
You read the amendment? That's not what it says.
It's not true. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's not what
And
it
that
says.
was because of FDR, right?
Well, that amendment was created because of FDR, right? So that amendment, I think, was ratified. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was ratified in 1951. I think that's when that
is correct. It was in 51.
Okay, so my memory hasn't failed me yet. Yay!
Wasn't that the year you were born?
That was the year I was born. I was born in the 70s.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, but it doesn't read that way. It's pretty simple in how it's laid out, and it was laid out that way to be simple. And it just simply says a president cannot be elected to office more than 2 times. There's nothing in there about consecutive terms.
Yeah, I agree.
They should scratch the paper and see if there isn't something hidden under there about Congress, and I wouldn't mind that showing up sometime.
How many terms would you put on senators?
It needs to. I mean, term limits need to be a thing for Congress.
I would say 4 maximum.
4. What about House?
Same.
Because 4. Well, keep in mind that you're talking about a vastly different amount of time, though, between 4 Senate. 4 Senate. That's 24 years. Where 4 House terms is only 8 years.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly,
because remember, senators serve for 6 years.
Right.
House reps only serve for 2 years.
I mean, I would be fine with 2 terms. I'm just saying I would be willing to compromise up to 4 on each. Just because
Got you. Because
if you give 1 2 and 1 4, they'll probably bitch about it.
The problem is, obviously, I'm not saying anything anyone doesn't know here, but the problem is when you don't have term limits for Congress, you end up with Nancy Pelosi. You end up with
you end up with our whole system.
You end up with Mitch McConnell. You end up with
Ted Kennedy.
I mean, so it's a problem, and
and
there
Biden
should be
Biden
too.
Biden, right? Look how long Biden was in the Senate.
Mm-hmm. Biden, do you know that I read something the other day that blew me away, and I was like, this guy should never have been allowed to run in 20. Did you guys know that talk Talk about old. Biden ran for president against Reagan.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's old.
Well, he ran in I mean, he never ran in a general election against Reagan.
Correct.
He was in the Democratic primaries.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, still, that guy's old.
Reagan ran against Mondale, right? Which he won that one.
He destroyed
by 49 states.
Yeah, he destroyed Mondale. And who did he run the first time? Was it Carter?
Yes, it was Jimmy Carter, who was the incumbent.
Right.
Who he beat.
Right. I don't know how. I don't have the knowledge of how decisive his victory over Carter was.
I mean, it was still a victory.
Yeah.
It was still, but it was not 49 states. I mean, but we were at the height, getting close to the end of the Cold War, so I understand why no one in the country, people were afraid to replace the president at that point because of where we were with Russia.
Yeah.
And the negotiations with Gorbachev that were going on, right? Everything with Gorbachev. So it makes sense that Reagan beat Mondale to that extent.
But again, like I said, I love Trump and I am unwavering in that, but I'm also a realist. And the man, we talk about how old Biden is. Trump turns 80 next year. I mean, he's not young.
He's not, but it seems like he'll last. I just don't see a Trump right now that's any different than a Trump 4 years ago.
I really don't either. I mean, he's,
I don't. So the cognitive decline theory, I think, is just a conspiracy theory. I don't see it, right? It's not going to happen in his run. He can't run again. So it's not there, right?
And I think he has
now you can
that.
now I think that he has said a lot of dumb stuff, right? But I think he is pretty consistent in everything that he has done. So if you want to call something that he's doing now dumb, it's the same dumb stuff he's always done that I already knew about when I voted for him.
Do you think that the tariffs are a dumb decision?
I think the way he's handling tariffs is not the correct way to handle tariffs. Tariffs are a very complicated issue that we could do a whole podcast on. I'd be willing to do that. But what he's doing right now with tariffs is too much hurt for what is for this current state of this country.
Yeah.
He is going to destroy farms.
Yeah.
Farms will fail. They will go out of business.
I mean, trust me, I grew up on a farm. You don't have to tell me.
And then he writes things on social media like, I'm going to enact. What did he write in True Social today? His second post was, the second part of his post. Zero probably has something to say about this one too. He said, strict export regulations on critical based software. What is he talking about?
Yeah,
no other context was added. What is this critical base? Is he going to tell? Is he just going to tell Microsoft they can't sell Windows to Russia? What does that mean? That is such a vague statement. It's like I'm hitting my head against the wall trying to figure out what is he talking about.
That seems kind of.
You know what though? That's
What?
how you can tell that he actually writes his posts.
Right.
Because it
exactly,
is complete boomer untech gibberish.
right.
And
It's
you know that if he
gibberish,
had
right.
someone else writing for him, that it wouldn't be like that. So you got to give him credit for at
Or
least being
right,
honest.
or it's one of his kids. It's like Eric
Yeah,
or maybe Donald Jr. Right? Because I think they're all probably roughly about they are probably roughly can encompass the same body of knowledge, right? But like, well, I don't know. I read that. I just went like, I was like, what? Like, and I understand that the first part of the post was about the tariffs, and it's because Trump felt he needed to do something about China's restrictions that they suddenly decided are going to be put on the export of rare earth elements starting November 1st. So Trump felt he needed to respond to that. And that's what started this. So I see people saying Trump is nuts. He just got up this morning and decided I'm going to put 100% tariff on China. No, it's no, that's not what happened. He got up this morning and was told China has just decided to put export restrictions on rare earth elements that are needed for technology that will start November 1st. So Trump felt he needed to respond, right? But he's not weighing very well what the response is and how it affects the country, right? And how it even counteracts what China decided to do, right? He's not doing that. But then he adds on the second part about the software. It's like, what does that mean? My God. So I figured you'd say the same thing, Zero. That like you read that and were like, what does that mean?
Well,
yeah, it was surprising. And again, like we've been saying, the tariffs aren't necessarily a bad thing in general, but the way he's been going about them,
right. So
is completely just off the rails sometimes with stuff exactly like this.
Yeah, and his tariff system is going to obliterate, if it continues, it's going to obliterate the whole. It's going to obliterate the farming communities, farms across this country. That's just one area that it's going to affect. It's going to affect a lot of areas. It's also going to tank the consumer buying index, right? Consumer confidence is tanking now, and it's tanking because of the tariffs. And that index is very important to our GDP. So if he takes that index, if consumer confidence falls, so will our GDP. And I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to go into a recession, but further growth will seriously be hindered.
We're darn close to one now.
Yeah, we're darn close to a recession. I'm not going to say now we're going to hit it, but it's there. I can see it down the road, right? And if he hurts, the index, if consumer confidence falls, buying is going to fall. I mean, look at the car market. I don't know how closely you read into these markets, but the car market is a problem. The housing market is a problem. They're gonna blow. These are bubbles that are gonna blow.
And it's coming into Christmas season now, and people don't have confidence in anything, and with prices are still high on. I've seen eggs fall, but everything else is up. I was bitching in the server today I turned my switch on, and my SD card's dead, so I went and looked it up. What did it come out? July, June.
Those
and it's gone up in price already. Eggs are like
how much?
$4.12 a dozen right now here.
$4.12 is a dozen.
Yeah.
They were $4.99. I think they've been here.
Damn, you
And I live in an area where there's a lot of eggs available too from local
Yeah, well, there's a
farms,
lot of
so
dairy
it's a
farms.
little
Like,
lower.
there's a lot of dairy farms around here. I mean, there's a lot of dairy farms up in Maine too. So, but I don't know. I don't think $4.99 is bad, just because
No.
I have friends. I know people that live in the Carolinas, and they've been all the way up to $7 for 12 eggs.
Yeah, we went up to
Carolina.
9 here. But
we
like
never
$9.
we never hit that. When you guys were at 9, we were probably at 5.
I don't know what to do with you guys. The eggs here for a dozen large are $2.80.
Oh God!
Yes, that's cheap.
Send them up here, please.
Yeah,
I go through them like crazy. My kids love them.
But here's the thing. Last week, eggs were $3.50 for 12.
So it's fluctuating.
I'm right. It fluctuates. So so every week I go in, it's a different price.
Yeah.
I went food shopping today. Went to the supermarket today, and it was $4.99. Last week I bought 2 dozen eggs, and they were $3.50 a dozen. This was last week.
Wow, that's quite a change.
Well, next week they might be $3.99. I bet you I go to the supermarket next week and they're $3.99 a dozen. So it swings, but it's always under $5. We have not gone over $5 ever on eggs. So, but that's, partly, there was the first problem with eggs was due to Biden having all of the chickens killed off, right? But now we're getting into problems with tariffs.
So I want to ask you both a question. Right now, bigger threat to this country, China or the Muslims?
Ooh. I think China, because it can not only hurt us if they were to try and take Taiwan and drag us into a war, but the economical hurt they can cause in so many different areas, I think would supersede the amount of damage the radical Muslims.
Yeah, and at the same time, China, by causing that hurt on us, is going to cause an exponentially higher hurt on themselves. But because of the way that their government is set up, their populace will just have to take it, and the government doesn't care, right? So the government is willing to inflict that hurt on us. They don't care.
So the only reason that I would say the Muslims is simply because they're already here. They're in our borders. They've basically taken over Minnesota. They've basically taken over Michigan. It's a serious issue.
Oh yeah,
but they're not affecting. It's a serious issue, but they're not affecting consumer price indexes. They're not causing the collapse of the American farming system. Or maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration on my part because it hasn't collapsed, but they're not causing the hurt on the farms.
Sure.
They're not.
And I can see if they keep pushing, maybe in 10, 15 years, that would be definitely something to, if it keeps going in the direction it has. But I think China could kind of get us under the boot, and the way things have been going, even less than a year, especially if they start withholding these minerals, or they keep
this mineral
Taiwan, or sending fuel to Russia, or whatever. They can hurt us in so many other different ways from all across the world versus And it's not just the U.S. that I saw something earlier today about people.
Well, it's
in
Europe.
England.
Too. It's Europe.
Yeah. England. They were fighting again. Oh God, about the Muslims taking over the country there, and it's like there's not going to be any Britain left.
Well, I mean, that's already happened.
And it's such a shame. It doesn't make any sense what the British government is doing. Like, I can't imagine what the motivation behind allowing their nationality to just dissolve like this. What are they gaining out of it? I don't. The digital ID, all this stuff. I mean, obviously control, but what are they? I mean, once he leaves office and these people leave office, what's the long-term goal other than just the pure obvious?
It's the destruction of the rule of law.
It is.
Well, the long-term goal, again, just look at the historical context of it. So, Zero, if you want to know what the long-term goal is, just read the Communist Manifesto. There's your answer. It's right there.
But the amount of, I mean, you roll back the clock a year and look back at Britain a year ago. Look at all the stuff that, I mean, it wasn't, there was obviously problems a year ago, but the amount of change in a single year that they've been able to, turn a coin with the start of these, the censorship, the payment processors, think of the children.
Well, the payment processors weren't England.
Do we know where? Obviously, I know it's MasterCard and Visa, but what the bank behind it was yet?
So it was the exchanges themselves. So those are not. So MasterCard and Visa, they're payment processors. They're not banks.
Yeah.
Right.
And I had read that there was a specific bank that was really kind of tugging at the head of this rope.
Well, I mean, Chase is infamous for.
Well, Chase is the biggest bank in the world, right?
And they're
but who
woke ideology?
I mean, the bank that invented the Visa card, right?
No.
I do not.
So Visa was invented in 1958. It was originally called Bank AmeriCard.
I remember that name.
Okay. That was Visa's original name. It was owned by Bank of America.
Bank of America, sure.
Mm-hmm.
So Bank of America created Visa.
Okay.
MasterCard, which was called MasterCharge originally, which I think was from the mid-'60s and was born as a competitor to the Bank America card. That was a consortium of banks. And then it became MasterCard, right?
So when did American Express come along?
American Express was in the 1950s.
Okay.
I think the first credit card that ever was ever kind of like distributed was the Diners Club card, which doesn't exist anymore. So Diners Club was the first credit card, and then I think American Express was actually the second one.
Okay.
So American Express is actually older than MasterCard and Visa. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna double check. I think it is. And I'm talking about the credit card. American Express as a company has been around for a very long time, but you have to remember that before credit cards, what American Express did is they created the traveler check system.
Okay.
I do remember those.
Yes. So American Express existed as a bank that cashed and processed travelers checks, and that was what they were based on. And then I believe they were one of the first agencies to create a credit card. So I think it was like 1958, maybe. I'm gonna get it off Google. I'm gonna have to do this list of first credit cards creation date. Yes. So I'm no. Okay. So 1950 was Diners Club. 1958 was Bank America card, and that's the card that became Visa, Bank America card. So 1950, the second one was Visa, which was made by Bank of America.
Anyway, I know this it started with that feminist group in Australia.
Yep.
And then I know that Britain had some sort of the online safety bill.
No, I am right. I am right. Amex introduced their first charge card in 1958.
Oh.
But yeah, so I was close. Anyway, which was the second card after Diners Club. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
It seems to be that. I mean, it could have been timing. But when all this started going on with Australia, the Australian feminists, and they did what they did with the payment processors, and then it seemed like Europe took that, or at least Britain took that as a chance to, get kind of hop on the bandwagon and be like, yeah, we're going to do this for the kids, and we're going to make things better, and we're going to push this bill through. And then you saw the stuff kind of start popping up here in the U.S. again.
The old Trojan horse.
Yeah. But I mean, they're using that to silence in Europe or Britain, all the things going on there with the migrants.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's out of control over there. But I mean, are these people really happy watching themselves destroy the country like this? I don't know what's going to be left for them to rule over. It's like Fallout. Blow everybody up, but what's there going to be left?
The people suppressing the speech are not the ones that are at risk.
They are at a certain point. They will be. I mean, the chaos gets too out of control.
It's going to show up at their doorstep eventually, even if they unfortunately don't believe it right now. Well, that's just pure stupidity on their part. But I think that there is a part of them that believes that that at a point they can sort of wrestle back control. They want chaos to reign for a certain amount of time because they want that chaos to rip down what is the current system, what is the current culture, right? Because that's literally right out of Marxist doctrine. Right, that's literally what happened in China. Right, the struggle sessions, the Cultural Revolution, rip it all down. Right, and then when it gets to the point where it's been ripped down to what you believe that you want it at, and you can build off that what you want culture to be, then you take back control. Right. And then you start to rebuild culture in your image. Now, the problem, and this is what I think you're saying, Zero, is that they are seriously underestimating their ability to gain back control once they feel it's time. You firmly believe that I'm taking this that you firmly believe that they have a belief that they're going to be able to take back control, but their belief is idiotic because they're never going to be able to take back control.
Correct.
No, I think it's approaching a point of no return. I mean, you get enough non-British people in there that want to make that a different cultural area, and they're not going to be able to get it back, and it's going to be chaos, just pure chaos. And I think some of them are starting to realize it, but I don't think Starmer has it in him to go back.
Starmer, I think he's a lost cause.
He's like he's like the one head of the Ministry of Magic until he sees, Snape.
Yeah.
He's like, he refuses to believe what he's doing is wrong, and I think that's part of the problem with some of these people.
Or again, like I was trying to lay out the fact that they see what they're doing, but they have they've got some imaginary belief that I'm gonna let it burn.
Yeah.
Into the point that I think enough of it is gone that I will be able to wrestle back control and then insert the culture that I want, right?
Well, that's
which is Marxism, which is cultural Marxism. That's what they want to put in for the system.
But
so in fact, they don't want the Muslims to take over. They don't want religion a part of the system in any way, right? But they're using that as the instrument for the chaos to get the system burnt down to the point that they feel they believe they can take back control and then rebuild it into their version of a communist utopia, right? But they won't be able to do it. They're short-sighted, they're stupid, and they're never going to be able to stop that ball rolling. It's rolling.
As we say down here in Texas, that horse is out of the barn. Yeah. There is no, a lot of that belief is narcissism, to the arrogance to believe, oh, we can allow this to happen. We can have all these, illegals come in and take over. And then whenever we want to, we'll be able to, get the upper hand again. I mean, that's pure arrogance.
Yeah. It's going to backfire on them.
It already has.
But it's not going to work.
The thing is, it already has.
Yeah.
And I think they've all been in on it. I think Europe's all been in on it together. And I think if we had gotten Kamala, I think by the end of her term, we would be where Britain is at now.
Yeah, I don't think it would have taken that long because you have to look at how things were going. There's a reason that Biden's own party in the last year of his term, kicked him off the ticket. I don't think it would have taken 4 years for Kamala to completely just wreck everything to hell and back.
Oh, she'd wreck it, but I think she'd get more pushback than anybody in Britain would have, and mainly because of the Second Amendment fears. I think a lot of the other countries in Europe, at least from the people I've talked to, I don't think they feel as comfortable without the kind of Second Amendment rights we have here in case, something.
Well, there's also the difference in how there's also a significant difference in how the First Amendment is applied in the different areas where, the First Amendment, as far as the government goes, is absolute, right? It's absolute. Where you have all these other countries, it's not absolute.
Mm.
Well, Grim, that one of my biggest pet peeves with the radical left is the double standard and the hypocrisy that by which they live. For me, it's like the First and Second Amendment are
prime examples of that. I was reading somewhere the other day that they want the same people that for years have wanted to take all the guns away are now fighting for the rights of these quote unquote protesters to be armed. They're fighting for the rights of the trans people to carry guns.
Well, we talk about this. We talk about this all the time, and this is not a left only problem. And the problem is simply no politics unless it's my politics.
Mm-hmm.
So that is not a uniquely left problem. That is a uniparty problem, right? And I know you like to throw around the terms rhino and dino a lot, and I get it, but you know what? It's just still more proof that we're living under the uniparty.
Well, the problem is that you can have one definition for a word, but in a country with 50 states, if you travel, you will find that different people in different areas have a different take on things. And in the South and in Texas, I can tell you the word rhino means something very, very different than it means.
And I can't verify that or say that for sure.
It's just very, very different. And so to be dismissive of the danger that, a rhino poses is, I get it, but it's not necessarily having the full picture. And I agree that all sides, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, whatever, they're all criminal.
You want to talk about uniparty members, talk about the neocons.
Yeah.
And where does a large majority of those neocons come from, buddy?
The South.
They came from Texas.
The South, yeah. Trust me.
They came from Texas.
But the problem is, I read somewhere the other day that AOC travels with 8 bodyguards. How many of those 8 do you think carry weapons?
All 8.
I'm gonna guess.
Probably.
I'm gonna guess all 8. My point is, the same people that want you and I to not have the right to the Second Amendment, they want the people that protect them to have it. They want the people on their side of the woke ideological spectrum, like the trans folk, to have it. They like the people attacking, law enforcement officers that call themselves protesters to have it. That's called hypocrisy.
Yeah, but no one's denying the hypocrisy. I don't see anyone really denying it, except for the people that are practicing it. And then even people who are pointing out other people's hypocrisy are guilty of hypocrisy themselves.
Sometimes.
Well, so I'd say a lot of the times, right? And that's where the whole uniparty problem comes in.
Well, I agree. I do agree with that. And I mean, like I said, the problem is they were going along.
Look, this is why I'm hesitant to go to like even states like Texas and granted, I think the political atmosphere in Texas is a far better political atmosphere than the one that exists in, say, Massachusetts or New York, but it's still not the political atmosphere that I'm looking for. No, I'm looking for more. I'm not looking to want to just move to another area that's just the other party, which is just one side of the uniparty. I want a libertarian outlook. I want a third party outlook.
Yeah.
And if you want that, you've got to go to a place like New Hampshire.
Yeah. What's the population of New Hampshire?
1.4 million.
+1.
So
that's +1, exactly. +3. Pack up your cars, guys. Pack up your cars.
So it's a little bigger than, say, Rhode Island.
Or Vermont. Vermont's like 500,000.
Yeah. So my family is all from farm towns, little tiny farm towns in East
Rhode
Texas.
Island.
No, in
East Texas. Okay.
And they all eventually migrated. Well, some of them eventually migrated to Houston, which when I was growing, it's much bigger now, but when I was growing up, Houston's population was about 2 million. So when I hear the state of New Hampshire, I think of New Hampshire as being about half the size of Houston when I was growing up. So that would be great.
And you know what? Like,
that'd be beautiful.
You know where most of that population in New Hampshire lives?
Well, within, what do you mean?
Like what part of the state, right? Because it's not the biggest.
Rural, right?
Nope, this is not. It's on the border of Massachusetts.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. But I mean, that's
so out of 1.4 million people, like 900,000 of them literally live within like 25 minutes of Massachusetts.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, infrastructure.
Okay.
What infrastructure is in Upper New Hampshire?
Probably very little.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
What is in Upper New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Trees
and mountains.
They want to be able to have quick access to.
There are barely towns, let alone cities, in Upper New Hampshire. I mean, even in Lower New Hampshire, I mean, the capital of New Hampshire is a tiny little city, Concord, New Hampshire. The largest city in New Hampshire is Manchester, and its population is like 300,000.
Yeah.
So there is a infrastructure problem.
Yeah.
So they live close to Massachusetts, which Massachusetts, has close to 8 million people living in it, a giant city. So the infrastructure in Massachusetts is far larger.
Well, yeah, that's so, they want the perks of being in, beautiful little New Hampshire, but they want to be able to cross the border to get to what they need in Massachusetts.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all I know is you guys have an absolute crazy governor there.
Well,
I wish
when I get to New Hampshire, I'm still going to be working in Massachusetts. I still have to work in Massachusetts, but I work mostly from home. So
right. So what kind of drive is that?
Zero knows the school that directly employs me. It's actually out kind of nearish him, believe it or not.
Okay.
So it is the campus is literally on the other side of the state.
Okay. So
it's near so it's already a 2.5 hour drive for me.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same from wherever I move to New Hampshire, right? And I do have an office in Boston, but my bosses are not in Boston. Gotcha. My bosses are in Western Massachusetts.
That's really not that bad.
Well, yeah, for you, because I understand, because you live in a massive state,
I mean, like
a lot of land. So when I say, "Oh, it's a 2-hour drive," you go, "Okay, let's go." For us, a 2-hour drive is like, "Oh shit, that's a long drive."
Yeah, I mean, so for me, like, when I was in college, the college I went to was a 2.5 hour drive from my parents' house, and so.
Well, yeah. So that, I mean, that's the school I work. The school I am directly contracted by is the school I graduated from with my PhDs.
Sure.
And it is roughly about 2.5 hours from where I grew up.
Yeah. I mean, it just sounds like, the
the pros might outweigh the cons if you were to make
it does, because I work 90% from home, and where I'd be going in New Hampshire is much further from Boston than I am now, but I'm still within an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, still within an hour of Boston.
It's like it's like I've always said. Texas is a very large state, and if you cross out 3 cities, Austin, Corpus Christi, and El Paso, it's an amazing state. I mean, the rest of it's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, you talk about the size of these counties that are in Texas or even California. I'll give you a quick example. So the New England airports, okay, you have Logan International Airport, which is the major airport in Boston, right? Then the next closest airport is Manchester International Airport in New Hampshire, in Manchester, New Hampshire. It's on the outside of Manchester, New Hampshire. Now that is a smaller airport, but it is actually a like adjacent airport to Boston Logan Airport, right? Now, if you take the distance between Logan Airport and Manchester Airport, okay, and you look at that distance, that is still smaller than getting from a lot of points in LA County.
Sure, but I mean,
it's less of a distance. Those 2 airports, which are in 2 different states, which are connected with each other, are closer to each other than points in LA County, New Hampshire. I'm sorry, California, which is, to me, is crazy. It's crazy to think how big some of these counties are in California and Texas.
Yeah, you have to understand, though, that the reason those 3 cities made my do not visit list were not drive time or geographical in nature. There are some other very serious negatives with El Paso, Corpus Christi, and Austin that I would not.
Well, Corpus Christi, which is on the border of Mexico, is a crime-ridden cesspool.
It's not good. It's not good at all. And El Paso is the same. And Austin has been taken over by all the lunatics from New York and California.
Plenty of $150,000 houses available in Corpus Christi right now, my friend.
Tell you what, you can get a 10-bedroom mansion.
Yeah,
Corpus Christi, $5.
$5.
And you know what?
You're not gonna be able to keep any of your belongings, and lucky if you can keep your life. But you can get that 10-bedroom mansion in Corpus Christi.
It will help you with your moral character, because you will learn, if you're worried about your belongings, you will learn that if you lock your door, it is potentially racist.
True.
Were you listening the night that we did that? It sounds like a bit, but it wasn't a bit. It was actually, sadly, the truth. Google AI, they get a little preachy sometimes over there on the Google AI, and they will tell you that locking your door can be considered racist.
What isn't racist now?
I know. I was going to say I've heard this a bunch of times now. Yeah. It's I think before you got on, Zero, we had just mentioned that, like, what is categorized as racist keeps expanding at an exponential rate.
The same thing as what defines a Nazi now? Like, the words have lost completely all meaning.
What's a fascist, right?
Yeah.
What is a fascist, right?
What's a bigot? What's a misogynist? Like, none of the words or anything close to what their actual meaning represents.
Well, their original meanings, yeah, or where they originally come from, right? A fascist is an Italian authoritarian.
Well, I am Italian.
Well, but you also
There you
have
go.
to, you have to understand though, people say it's easy to blame Obama for everything, but listen, there are receipts for that. I remember when Obama would say things like, listen, if you're black, don't let any white person tell you that you can't accomplish anything. And I would think to myself, I live in Texas. I've never heard a white person speak to a
Right.
black
He's
person,
he's stereotyping you, right?
Well, he introduced, he started.
Well, he's generalizing, right? There are definitely racist douchebags that exist
Correct.
that for no reason hate black people who are just human beings like everyone else, and they believe in biological determinism, and they think that black people, even though we have the same brains, we're the same. We're all just humans, right? But these people, they have this unscientific, irrational, crazy belief in biological determinism, and they think that, oh, this person is black, so they're dumb, right?
No,
and those people do exist.
They do.
But to even insinuate that it's a vast majority of white people who believe in that nonsense is ridiculous.
Well, that's what they do, though, and that's Obama planted the seeds for the culture war, at least the way it is nowadays.
It's all to elicit a response,
of course, and
I mean, like I said, even Trump, like we were saying before, Trump says things to elicit responses.
Oh, sure, right? He's very bombastic.
Yeah. Well, he's the head of The Apprentice. We're all his apprentices, apparently.
Well, no, that's the thing, and the other thing is a lot of people have forgotten that the Democrats used to adore this guy. He was always at the being put on at the football games and the TV shows and the talk shows, and they were always going to him asking for his. The only time he only became Satan incarnate to them when they realized number one, that he had a good chance of becoming president, and number two, that they couldn't control him. Then they decided to hate him.
Yeah, they had him on The View shortly before he announced his presidential run, and they were telling him that he should run for president.
Yeah.
And now they can't shut up about how horrible he is, and it's so exhausting.
He didn't pick their side, and I'm so sick of the sides.
It's got to stop.
I don't. You know what? I don't. Are you left? Are you right? No. Sorry, man. I'm not standing on either side of the king. I'm walking out of the room.
That's right. And I've said it a million times when I talk about us versus them and the culture war. I mean us versus them. I don't mean conservative versus liberal or Republican versus Democrat.
You mean normal like just like normal people versus crazy extremist nut jobs, because they exist, because crazy extremist nut jobs exist on both the left and the right, which is unfortunate. Although, as we mentioned earlier, the more militant of them seems to be on the left these days.
Well, it does these days, and I mean it's just. You.
But but it comes back down to that 40-second video.
It does. Oh, and I shared that again on Twitter tonight, but
and I sent you the video, right?
Zero,
you've seen the video?
Yeah, I've seen the video.
Yeah. So the historical context of it, and the reason why the left is more militant, the reason why the left is more militant is because they're revolutionaries. because that's what Marx wrote about. He wrote about revolutionaries. That's how you make change. You don't do it through democracy. You don't do it through discussion. You know, his form of the dialectic was a revolution. And he said there is no such thing as a bloodless revolution, which is a scary thought.
That's very true. And the thing that I also, that they like to conveniently overlook, is we had Obama for 2 terms, and then we had Biden and Harris for 4 years. 3 of the last 4 administrations have been their guys. So when they want to talk about how unhappy they are with the country, 3 of the last 4 terms have been their guys.
True.
I mean, they need to think about that. And the other thing is, they talk about how, I'll tell you what, it is amazing how many people have seemed to have forgotten when they talk about Trump has taken away so many rights from women. They have forgotten that I always enjoy reminding them that Roe versus Wade.
What rights has he taken away from women?
Well, Roe versus Wade was overturned during the Biden administration.
It was overturned, but the right wasn't taken away. It was sent back to the states. And there are many states that have not only re-ratified those rights, but strengthened them since that happened. But so to claim that those rights are gone, is ridiculous. And an area should have the right to have its rule of law that reflects the majority of people that live there, right? So if Massachusetts wants to strengthen those laws, let them. I'm a libertarian. I don't buy the religious arguments against it. So I don't even want to, I'll listen to someone make them, but I'll just nod my head, right?
Well, but the thing is, that also happened under the Biden administration, not the Trump administration.
Yeah, I'm not sure the dates of when it was overturned. You'd have to let me know.
It was under the Biden administration. But the other thing, too, is under the Biden administration, they controlled everything. I mean, they had the Senate. They had, so I don't want to hear about how bad
2022, by the way. So, yeah, it was. Yeah.
And like you said, it wasn't real. I mean, it was overturned, but it was just, it was sent back to the states.
Right. It was right. It was sent back to the states. And I have to keep pointing out to people, there are plenty of states that not only re-ratified their protection of those particular laws, but they strengthened them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, lots of blue states are extremely adamant.
And lots of purple states strengthened them.
Well, to me, there's no such thing as a purple state.
Well, I mean, there are definitely states that one election they'll vote Democrat, one election they vote Republican, the next election they vote Democrat, the next election they vote Republican. So what do you call that state? Because there are what?
Wishy-washy.
All right, you're just using a different term for purple. That's all.
I hear you. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, to me, it's people keep saying, and I tell people, listen, as somebody that lives in Texas,
and I'm sorry, as a libertarian, I don't, and this is not going to be a popular opinion with a lot of people on the right, but as a libertarian, I do not have a problem with reasonable abortion laws, meaning no heartbeat.
correct.
Once a heartbeat starts, that's it. You that is a life. But before a heartbeat begins, you can have that baby. You can have that abortion, right? So, but I'm also not going to tell Texas that they shouldn't pass their stricter abortion or anti-abortion laws because it is the will of the state. Because as a libertarian, I believe in states' rights.
Yeah. I agree.
You know,
otherwise,
right. I mean, that's how this country was kind of found. Anyway, it's 3:30. Wow.
Yep.
And I think zero sounds.
Oh, wow.
So,
it's late.
yeah. So, hey, Chris. So as the going out discussion,
Yes.
hit us with one. Come on. Hit us with a flat earth comment. Come on.
Oh, I've got.
Hit us with a flat earth comment that will stump us.
Well, so one day I'm going to have my camera on, and all I need to prove the legitimacy of flat
legitimacy
is listen. No, I'm serious. I'll do it when I have my camera on one day. All I need is a Ritz cracker and a trusty number
Nope.
2 pencil.
I can disprove it.
And I will.
That sounds like a John Wick thing.
Yeah, I can 100% disprove your number 2 pencil and your Ritz cracker as incorrect.
Once you see it, you'll be converted. Because as I've said many times, I have a problem trusting round earthers. These rounders. I mean, listen, it's okay. I'm going to say it right here and right now. It's easy to say that you believe the earth is round. It's easy to say that. But when you stop for one moment and think about this, listen to what I'm about to say. And you think about all the things that have to be true for the earth to be round, you'll realize how preposterous it is. You're going to tell me that the earth just happens to be the size of a basketball. It's in quote unquote outer space, and it's spinning around on an invisible axis going 1,000 miles an hour. Yeah, that's all likely.
Well, it is because it's been measured.
Well,
it's all been measured, and it also mathematically has been calculated using the same mathematics that built the CPU that's in your computer and is used to calculate flight patterns with planes, lift with planes. If the gravitational constant of Earth was incorrect, jet engines wouldn't work. Because all jet engines and the lift that is needed to get them off the ground, the gravitational constant of the Earth, 1g, is a constant in all of those formulas. So if the number that 1g represents, which is 9.8 meters a second squared, was incorrect, none of those planes would get off the ground or stay in the air.
Well, they get off the ground due to the acceleration of their engine.
Yes, which the amount of acceleration is deduced by those formulas, which include the constant 1g Earth. So why does that number work? And why can that number be taken as a ratio, reapplied to other planetary bodies, and those new constants based on those planetary bodies, such as the moon, also function correctly?
So here's a question. Does gravity exist? Gravity does exist everywhere. So I can walk by a cereal bowl, and I'm not very fast, especially since my car accident. I was actually pretty fast before it. But, if I walk by just a little quickly and, maybe nudge up against a cereal bowl, the milk is going to splash out. The Earth spins around supposedly at 1,000 miles an hour
at the equator. At the equator,
all the water stays.
The Earth spins at 1,000 miles an hour on its axis at the equator.
Wouldn't all the water in all the oceans go just splashing out everywhere?
No.
Why not?
Why would they?
Because the oceans are sitting on a surface that's supposedly spinning around.
They're sitting in basins on the Earth. So they're sitting in basically there's you have the continental cliff, right? And the oceans are these basins that go down to 7 miles in the Atlantic Ocean. They're giant holes, giant basins in between the continents. They're basically bowls sitting on the Earth, and the water is sitting in them.
Well,
so it's the same concept. Your milk is in a bowl on your table. The oceans are in a hole on the Earth between the continents, just like how the lakes like the Great Lakes, those are giant holes in the land that filled up with water, that were glaciers that melted.
Then how can a hurricane, for example, it's wind, right? How can wind in a hurricane be strong enough to empty water out of an ocean and flood a town?
The water, you talk about rain? Did you talk about cloud participation? The rain is coming from the clouds.
No, that's a good point.
So I don't understand what your logic is on this one. The rain is coming from the clouds. It's precipitation. It's not pulling. You're acting like there's a fucking tornado that came along and ripped up a lake and threw it in the air, and it just happened. Right? That's not what's happening.
I think I saw that in Endgame.
I saw it in Superman.
Right? Exactly.
Well, I mean, I want to believe you, Graham. I really do, because you're a smart guy. But a lot of that, just
if you just understood basic math, the conversation would be over. If gravity didn't exist at the constant that we use to calculate on the Earth, then half of our shit wouldn't work.
Let me tell you about something not working that makes me very sad, and then we'll get out of here. I got something. Actually, I got it today from Microsoft. Not from Microsoft, but it's a Microsoft
Windows
product.
11.
And
there
you go. I got a Windows phone, and I had forgotten.
A Windows phone. When did you buy that?
I had forgotten how awesome they were, and then none of the servers will work on it.
Yeah, because Windows, mobile Windows isn't supported anymore.
I probably should have known that.
Microsoft got out of that game after, Android just kind of
destroyed them.
I wouldn't say destroyed them. I mean, if you want to look at it that way, sure. Android just became super popular just because of the install base being able to create its own versions of it for its own devices, and how it's a pseudo open source piece of software, open source enough that you can design an entire operating system around it.
The layout and the hardware are just amazing. It's a shame. I'm looking at this thing. The camera is still amazing too. Actually, it's a shame that there's no connectivity. It really is. I got it.
It's not going to work, unfortunately.
No, I got it for $20, but it's kind of a nostalgia thing. But
I also wanted to just bring up the. I know we talked about this about the flat Earth thing before, which is, one of the arguments that the first argument people go for a lot of the times is if the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator and basically moving at roughly 67,000 miles an hour around the sun, which these two measurements are also what we call a day and a year, by the way.
Okay.
Why doesn't the centrifugal force that the Earth creates throw us off the planet and all the water? And why?
That's right. And the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It could fall over.
I want some pizza.
The Leaning Tower of Pisa was reinforced at its foundation.
Because it would have fallen over.
Yes, because of gravity. Exactly. So they had to reinforce it at its foundation.
Yeah.
And they had to pull it up a little bit. So it was jacked up a little bit and it was reinforced at its foundation. Otherwise it would have fallen over.
Yeah.
So that's why it's still standing, right? And again, the simple answer, why doesn't the centrifugal force that the Earth creates by spinning at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator is because the amount of centrifugal force that the Earth produces is a fraction of the amount of gravity that the Earth produces.
Oh. That's real.
So let's say that
that's heavy.
Let's say that, I'm just going to make up some numbers to make it easy. The centrifugal force that the Earth creates by spinning on its axis at 1,000 miles an hour is 0.0004% that of the force of gravity, which is 1g Earth, that keeps us on the planet. So we're not going anywhere.
Well, that's good to know.
We're not going anywhere. That 9.8 meters a second squared, which is trying to push us towards the center of the planet, is much stronger than the amount of centrifugal force that the Earth spinning is able to produce.
Well, that's a lot of force.
It 1g Earth. Yeah. 9.8 meters a second squared. So.
All right, gentlemen. I think this has been a great conversation.
Yeah. It was a long one. Well, 2.5 hours, I guess, is not too long, but
no, it was good. It was good. And I know that it's 3:48 for you guys, 2:48 for me. So let's call it a night. I am going to
stay safe in cowboy country, sir.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to be
we'll stay safe in the land of Antifa.
Yeah, that sounds like
because we live in the blue wall.
I worry about you guys in the blue wall.
Well, I'm trying to get to the part of the blue wall that's actually the not blue wall part of it, but it'll happen.
Grab Rob and his family, and grab Vera. And
I can't get Rob out of here.
Yeah,
that Rob has to do that. I cannot. There's nothing that I can do. Rob has to do that himself.
I have 3 friends in that part of the country, and y'all are all stuck with lunatics as your.
I can help Vara, but I cannot help. There's nothing I can do for Rob. Rob needs to organize his own affairs. He's got his wife. He's got a bunch of kids. But here's the thing, and he has said this on air, so I'm not doxing anything.
Yeah.
Rob's in-laws
Yeah.
do live in New Hampshire.
There you go.
His father-in-law does live in New Hampshire. So he already does
You've got it in.
have it in. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. He does have it in. And they do go up there a lot to visit him. He drives with his daughter up there a lot. I think he drives with both of them up there to visit their grandfather, because they go up there, because he is also a car mechanic and he works on their cars for them. It is at his house in New Hampshire.
Well, there you go. So he's not completely a lost cause.
No, he's not. He's not. So he does have an in. He just has to figure out how to capitalize on it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that'll work out someday. But I'm going to wrap things up, and we'll do this again soon. I appreciate both of you being here. And
yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed Zero putting you in your place.
Absolutely. I need it sometimes.
I liked it. And of course, my absolute spanking of your flat earth conspiracy.
Just wait till I have my Ritz cracker and my trusty number 2 pencil.
I can't wait.
There will be an on-camera demonstration.
I can't wait. I'm sure it's another centrifugal force problem.
It'll blow your mind.
I can't.
Just make sure you bring enough crackers for all of us, because I'll probably be hungry.
Yes,
We'll
crackers for all of us. Mail out the crackers so we have them for when the demonstration is going to be, and we can all crack open a box of Ritz.
There you go. All right, guys. I'm going to sign off. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night. Thanks, man.
Anytime.